Okay, so this is interesting and something I've seen quite a bit of. Sil here, a regular viewer and listener of the channel, appreciate you. Cara Lawson, Duke is getting beat up by non-ranked teams this year with a 3-3 record. Should we be worried? And that is in reference to Team USA. That's kind of been the sentiment I've seen out there. Duke struggles, therefore the wrong coach hire was made for Team USA by Sue Bird. If you're unaware, Sue Bird, now the managing director of USA Basketball, and Cara Lawson, now the head coach of USA Basketball.
The whisper, as it always does, started almost immediately. You had a coach fresh off a college season that was not going well, now suddenly being handed the keys to Team USA. And not just any Team USA, but the one with Caitlyn Clark on the roster. The stakes couldn't possibly be higher, and you better believe fans online absolutely went wild, flooding social media and forums, demanding answers. The question on everyone's mind was simple and terrifying. Was this a complete disaster just waiting to happen? The outrage wasn't just a knee-jerk reaction to Duke's record. It was a deep-seated fear about the entire future of American basketball and the immense, almost unbearable pressure being placed on its biggest, most important star. This backlash instantly sparked a viral debate, casting a long, dark shadow over the upcoming Olympic cycle and the national team's highly anticipated training camp. The sheer volume of concern, the tidal wave of doubt, quickly became impossible for anyone to ignore.
Teams, but South Florida is a loss as well. West Virginia is a loss as well. So not a great start for Duke. But here's the reason I push back a little bit, because college coaching to me a lot of times is just so much more about recruiting than it is about actual coaching. It's about the talent that you have on your team. And I don't know, enough. Let me first of all say I haven't watched enough Duke to say like what the coaching pros and cons have been.
I mean, let's be honest, Duke's shocking 3-3 start to the season was the perfect fuel for the fire. We're talking about unexpected, head-scratching losses to unranked teams like South Florida and West Virginia. For the critics, this became instant ammunition. The question was posed over and over again. How could Cara Lawson, now appointed as the head coach of the most dominant basketball team on the planet, possibly explain such a rocky, unstable beginning at the collegiate level? The narrative formed in the blink of an eye, and it was brutal. A coach who was visibly struggling to win at the college level couldn't possibly be equipped to handle the world's most elite talent, a roster stacked with superstars. This wasn't just being framed as a poor record, it was being seen as a direct indictment of her readiness for the global stage, sparking widespread concern and a genuine fear that Team USA's long-held dominance was now seriously at risk.
If it wasn't for Cara Lawson, I wouldn't be thinking about Duke at all. But here's the real truth of the matter. She doesn't have to recruit for Team USA. So any of what I just said is irrelevant, right? Because we already know the roster and talent. So this is about whether she can coach it. And I doubt Sue Bird makes a choice like that without the confidence in Cara Lawson. And I think, there's a level of respect that she's garnered and gained throughout her career. And just take a look at the roster for a second. Here's the Team USA roster for the training camp. This isn't the Olympics.
But here's the thing. Not everyone was buying into that doom and gloom narrative. A lot of experts and insiders were quick to push back, highlighting a critical distinction that the online outrage seemed to be completely missing: the massive difference between college and professional coaching. College basketball, they argued, is often way less about designing intricate, genius-level plays and far more about the relentless, year-round grind of recruiting. Your talent pool literally defines your team's success, not solely the coach's strategic genius on the sidelines. They claimed that this fundamental difference, this core reality of the sport, was being completely and utterly ignored in the mad rush to judgment, which was distorting the true picture of Lawson's actual capabilities. The real question became, was the entire online firestorm missing the most crucial point of the entire coaching dynamic?
For the national team. And you can see it's superstar laden. One thing that's super interesting is Caitlyn Clark wearing 17, because you're so used to her wearing 22 that it stands out when you see she's got a different number. But I've said for a while, I think this 28 team, we're only coming up on 2026, so there's a little bit of time before the Olympics. But this 28 team is going to be a bit of a dream team, I think. Not quite the same. I don't want to oversell it, because there was such a spectacle to the 92 Barcelona team that went there because, the pros for the first time
And you have to consider the decision makers in this situation. Grant Hill, the managing director of USA Basketball, is not someone who makes choices lightly. He made this pivotal decision with his eyes wide open and with full confidence. To even suggest that this was a snap judgment based purely on a handful of early college games profoundly misunderstands the incredible depth of their assessment process. You see, Cara Lawson has garnered immense respect throughout her entire career, earning the trust of people at the absolute highest levels of the sport. This wasn't some desperate, last-minute gamble, no. This was a calculated, strategic move backed by a profound and well-documented belief in her leadership skills and her strategic acumen, regardless of her collegiate team's early stumbles. The public backlash, it seemed, had conveniently managed to completely overlook her long and distinguished history in the game.
Because there was such a spectacle to the 92 Barcelona team that went there because, the pros for the first time, and Magic and Bird and Jordan and Charles Barkley and all that. But I say that because this team will be composed of a lot of the players, namely Caitlyn Clark, who came up in this rapid rise era. But you get there in the backcourt, Caitlyn Clark and Paige Bueckers and JuJu Watkins, right? The young superstars, along with whatever remaining veterans are still in their prime at that point. So I don't want to call them old guard.
Then, of course, there's the Caitlyn Clark factor. She's not just a player, she is the biggest name in basketball, a true cultural phenomenon. Now slated to wear number 17 for Team USA, her inclusion in the national team training camp roster, a roster already surrounded by established superstars and incredible, emerging prodigies, instantly amplified the coach's scrutiny 1,000 times over. Suddenly, fans weren't just watching Lawson anymore. They were watching every single move around Clark, dissecting every potential misstep, analyzing every single interaction captured on camera. The already intense spotlight burning on the new coach was now magnified tenfold, all thanks to basketball's reigning icon. This new reality meant that any perceived struggle, any minor issue, would become a viral sensation literally overnight.
But the basic premise is it will be a changing of the guard in favor of more dynamic guards, which is kind of the way that the game has gone. And it will be the Caitlyn Clark team alongside, the other. Think about that poster. And I know, they promoted it, and, they used Kelsey Plum and Kahleah Copper and I forget who the other one was on the graphic. And some people were like, oh, not some people. It was Christine Brennan who said, they should have featured Caitlyn Clark on the graphic.
The actual Team USA training camp roster, when you really look at it, tells a powerful story all on its own. It is absolutely superstar-laden, a legitimate dream team in the making, featuring household names like Paige Bueckers, JuJu Watkins, and Angel Reese playing alongside seasoned veterans. And here's the key. This is not a team Lawson needs to go out and recruit for. The world-class talent is already there in the building, ready to work. Her job is purely to coach this incredible, mind-blowing collection of athletes. This one crucial fact renders all the arguments and panic about her recruiting prowess at Duke entirely and completely irrelevant, shifting the focus squarely onto her ability to manage and elevate world-class talent that's already been assembled for her.
And some people were like, oh, not some people. It was Christine Brennan who said, they should have featured Caitlyn Clark on the graphic. I'm not getting worked up over stuff like that. To me, that was them showing players who were there and won gold in the last Olympics. Caitlyn Clark has been invited to the camp. It's, There's no more controversy there. Caitlyn Clark will be on the team. Caitlyn Clark will be the starting point guard for that team, barring anything strange and out of the ordinary. This is the graphic that was shown that I just referenced. Kelsey, Plum.
One fascinating little detail that immediately went viral was the sight of Caitlyn Clark sporting the number 7. Think about it. Fans are so deeply accustomed to seeing her in her iconic number 22 that the change instantly became a massive talking point. It really underscored the intense, microscopic scrutiny surrounding her every move, even something as simple as her jersey number. The subtle shift was symbolic, highlighting her official transition from being a collegiate superstar, the center of her universe, to becoming a new member of the national team. It created a ton of buzz and further embedded her presence into the Team USA narrative, solidifying her status as a constant, unavoidable viral subject.
For the actual Olympics, but she ain't going to be the only coach on the sideline, let's put it that way. And it would almost take active sabotage. The rest of the world's getting better now. Don't get me wrong. It's not quite like it is on the men's side, but we saw, France gave the U.S. a run for their money in the gold medal game in 2024. But the rest of the world is getting better. It's no longer the gap that it once was, but it's also not quite where it is on the men's side where, you don't know, no matter how talented the team is. So I wouldn't have too many Duke doubts about Cara Lawson as the coach of Team USA.
Like, for the actual Olympics, but she ain't going to be the only coach on the sideline. Let's put it that way. And it would almost take active sabotage. The rest of the world's getting better now, don't get me wrong. It's not quite like it is on the men's side, but we saw, France gave the US a run for their money in the gold medal game in 2024. The rest of the world is getting better. It's no longer the gap that it once was, but it's also not quite where it is on the men's side, where, you don't know no matter how talented the team is. So I wouldn't, have too many doubts about Cara Lawson as the coach of Team USA. Experts are already predicting that this new era of Team USA, which will likely culminate around the 2026 or 2028 Olympics, is going to feature a major changing of the guard. It's becoming less about the old guard of established dominance and more about a dynamic, powerful infusion of young, highly recognizable talent. Players like Clark, Bueckers, and Watkins are absolutely central to this monumental shift, bringing with them an unprecedented level of visibility and a whole new generation of fans. This evolving dynamic ensures that every single aspect of the team, especially its coaching and the performance of its rising stars, is going to be hyperanalyzed from every possible angle. The Dream Team comparison is incredibly potent, though many caution against overselling it to the level of the legendary 1992 Barcelona men's squad. However, there's no doubt this new women's iteration will have a similar, if not greater, cultural impact. It's composed of players like Caitlyn Clark, who literally emerged during this explosive rise in women's basketball popularity. Their presence alone guarantees massive, nonstop attention, ensuring that any perceived friction, any challenge, or any controversy will immediately explode across social media, becoming an instant must-discuss viral topic. And while Team USA has historically been dominant, winning gold medal after gold medal, this moment isn't just about maintaining that streak. The true significance of this roster, particularly with Clark at its center, lies in the unprecedented recognizability of its talent. These are players who have already captivated millions, driving a burgeoning new era of basketball. Their collective star power elevates every aspect of the team, including the intense spotlight on the coach, to an entirely new stratosphere of public scrutiny and expectation. The roster is just absolutely stacked with names that resonate deeply with fans. Beyond Clark, you have Paige, Bueckers, Aaliyah Boston, Angel Reese, and JuJu Watkins. Jackie Young, another incredible talent, is also on the list. Experts already envision a potential starting lineup featuring Clark, Bueckers, and Young, a combination of established veterans and surging young phenoms that guarantees an unparalleled level of interest and ensures every play, every coaching decision And every player interaction will be meticulously observed. Notably absent from this training camp list were some of the revered veterans, like Aaliyah Wilson and Brittany Griner, and potentially future legends like Breanna Stewart, who might age out or transition into a mentorship role by the next Olympics. This really highlights the planned changing of the guard and the strategic move toward more dynamic guards that fit the modern game, a shift that further emphasizes the importance of young stars like Clark and solidifies her central, undeniable role in the team's future. Barring any unforeseen circumstances, Caitlyn Clark is widely expected to be the starting point guard for Team USA. This isn't just fan speculation, it's the prevailing sentiment from insiders. This single fact elevates the stakes for coach Cara Lawson immensely. Beyond just making plays, Clark's leadership from the point guard position will define the team's tempo and entire offensive strategy, making her the focal point for all analysis and, by extension, placing immense pressure on the coach to maximize her unprecedented talent. There was even a minor controversy that quickly gained traction regarding a promotional graphic for the training camp. Some pundits, like Christine Brennan, argued it should have featured Caitlyn Clark more prominently instead of focusing on Kelsey Plum, Kahleah and Jackie Young. While some dismissed this as trivial, the incident perfectly illustrates the intense public demand for Clark's visibility and the immediate viral nature of any perceived slight or misstep involving her. Every single choice is now magnified a million times over. The graphic in question did feature Kelsey Plum, Kahleah and Jackie Young, highlighting players who had won gold in previous Olympics. While that decision is valid in its own right, the debate it sparked just underscored the public's insatiable thirst for Clark even before she officially makes her Olympic debut. This highlights the unique, almost uncontrollable viral power she possesses. Any visual representation of the team is now expected to feature its biggest draw. Another intriguing name on the expanded list is Sarah Strong, a promising young player who might be a rookie by the next Olympics. While rookies historically have a tough time making the final squad, both Brittany Griner and Diana Taurasi made the team in their first professional season. This possibility adds another layer of intrigue to the roster build, further demonstrating the influx of new talent and keeping the fan conversation constantly buzzing. Crucially, Cara Lawson will not be navigating this high-stakes environment all by herself. She has a robust support staff, including court coaches like Natalie Nakase, Nate Tibbetts, and Stephanie White, just for the training camp. This signifies a substantial investment and commitment from USA Basketball. While the final staff might differ, it confirms she'll have ample expert assistance. This collaborative approach completely mitigates the notion that her individual struggles at Duke would somehow translate to an unprepared, solo coaching effort on the global stage. The global landscape of women's basketball is also shifting dramatically. While the USA's dominance isn't quite challenged to the extent of the men's game, other nations are undeniably getting better and better. France, for example, gave the US a very tough run for the gold medal in recent competition. This rising level of competition means Team USA absolutely cannot afford to be complacent. The stakes are higher than ever, and any perceived vulnerability, especially surrounding the coach or a key player like Clark, will be magnified by global rivals looking for any edge. Ultimately, the doubts surrounding Cara Lawson as Team USA coach, which were largely fueled by her record at Duke, appear to be a massive overreaction. The very structure of international coaching, the incredible caliber of pre-selected talent, and the significant support staff all suggest a well-supported, meticulously planned effort. To expect active sabotage or for this team to fail is an extreme and unlikely scenario. The concerns, though they went viral, seem fundamentally misplaced when you look at the full context. The focus remains squarely on maximizing the incredible talent on this roster, especially the transcendent, game-changing presence of Caitlyn Clark. The viral conversation surrounding Caitlyn Clark and the Team USA coaching staff has revealed a deeply engaged, passionate fan base scrutinizing every single angle. And while those initial reactions sparked major backlash over Cara Lawson's collegiate performance, a closer look at the Team USA setup, the sheer overwhelming talent on the roster, And the crucial distinction between college and international coaching paints a radically different picture. The real story here isn't about a coach who is struggling, but rather about a carefully assembled super team preparing to dominate the world stage, with Caitlyn Clark at its electrifying core, ready to carry the torch of American basketball into a new, brilliant, and intensely watched era.